That was it, that she's ended our working relationship. I recently had one of the most stressful work weeks I've had in a very long time. The reason it was so stressful was because I stuffed up. And not only did I stuffed up something for a client. To me, there is nothing worse. But by the Friday, fortunately, we'd got it all sorted. I was back to sanity and calmness, and the client was happy again too. But today I just wanted to share some valuable lessons that I learnt through that tough week. So my 4 lessons are: communicate more, assume less is number 1. I learned early on in my career that communication is one of the most important things to get right in business. So when working with clients or team members, you've got to communicate boundaries, expectations, speaking up if something isn't working, or ask questions when you're not sure about something. Often it could feel like a silly question, but it's still worth asking rather than making the wrong assumption. When you work with someone, or anyone else, it's also very easy to look at their work and find mistakes. Sometimes you assume that they were careless or they stuffed it up. Like, we're all human, so we assume the worst. In this case, I was lucky enough to have a client that valued communication and picked up the phone to call me. And he said, "This is what's happening. Do you think what you did might have caused this to happen?" Number 2, own your messes without excuses. So the second part that made everything work out well was that I realized that it was something that I had done and I owned up to it. There's no hiding, no trying to bluff through it and fix it up in the background. I just went, oh my gosh, yeah, I think what I did made that happen. But let me try and fix it. So taking responsibility for your mess quickly actually shows experience and honesty. So number 3, allowing them to fix their own mistakes. In this case, the client allowed me to fix it myself. And to be honest, it would have been harder to get it fixed without me because I knew exactly what I'd done and how it had happened. So giving the person the chance to fix the mistake helps them to learn as well, so that it never happens again. Trust me, it's never going to happen again. And it gives them a chance to rectify it so they don't feel like absolute rubbish, which I did. I worked until midnight one night to get this mistake sorted and restored his faith in my abilities in the end. So the last point today is to focus on the solution. Thankfully, this client didn't waste time in blaming. He said, let's just focus on how to fix it and what we're going to do to work through it. We limited the amount of time wasted on things that we couldn't change, the past, and we focused our attention on the way forward. I guess these lessons stood out to me as I've had quite a different experience once before. I made a mistake once before, and a client just went, "You messed this up, it's taken me hours to fix it," and that was it, that she's ended our working relationship. So instead of just asking me the question and letting me fix it, which I would have done free of charge, she's gone straight off and spent all of this time fixing it herself, whereas I could have done it, like I said, at no cost and been very apologetic and not cost her all that time. But I had to accept in the end, we're all human, we all make mistakes. This is probably not the first or last mess up that I'll make. But if we commit to communicate through the messes, positive resolution is way more likely to happen. So what about you? Let me know in the comments if something like that's happened to you before, either you making a mistake or someone making a mistake on something that you've given them, how you've handled it, any lessons you've learned. Yeah, love to hear your story and that I'm not the only one.